To celebrate the release that is Train Simulator 2016 2, Electric Boogaloo, I thought I'd do something different for once. That is, a read and reply to some of my favourite comments that I have managed to gather over the years in the Train Sim community. Some of these comments do date back as early as 2013 even. I'll also use this time to debunk some of the more common arguments and fallacies used in the community as well. So without further ado, let's jump into the first comment that we have here. This was taken from a comment section on a file for UK Train Sim. I think it was a scenario pack related to the Commonwealth Games. It's been taken down, I think. But from what I remember, it had really poor grammar and spelling, so Mr. Daz Harvey decided to correct him, just saying, it's Commonwealth, that's how you should spell it. What's the problem with that? Nothing, of course. However, as this is the modern day, even nothing is enough to trigger somebody, such as this person right here.
Does it really matter what it is?
Well, if you want to look professional or be taken seriously, then yeah, it does matter.
Why not just say, nice scenario pack, or don't put anything at all?
All Mr. Harvey did is correct his spelling. He didn't threaten to dump his cat in a bin.
So many people have been digging this guy out for spelling.
Probably because his spelling sucks. For context, these comments were posted when the Class 319 was revealed to be included with the London to Bedford route.
A great shame that it's modelled on the 319 variant 3 front, rather than the standalone, which has the 319 variant 0, 2 and 4 front.
If it doesn't take that long, maybe you could do it yourself. A thank you to the people who have done this in their own time, and are sharing it for free wouldn't be amiss either.
Gee, that didn't take too long. Though this implementation of the you do better argument does seem rather strange. I mean, all this user did is just notice that it's the same 319, and, well, I'm not sure what you're trying to imply here, Steve. Should we, as a community, fix problems that never should have existed just because we can? Okay. Very strange logic indeed.
Guys, no one cares about DLCs, you buy them if you want, that's why they cost, because I would highly recommend this game.
Okay kid, stop. Firstly,
commas, periods, apostrophes, f***ing use them.
And secondly, you are making no sense whatsoever. Who turned on the English already? Well, at least he's recommending us some great, such as the Great Western Main Line, the Midland Main Line, only up to Bedford obviously, the amazing linear Trent Valley Master Race, and best of all, settle to Carlisle. The pronunciation reminds me of those American action police things you see on ITV1. Tonight, we got a clip from Carlisle, from England land. Let's look at the last thing that Mr. Dratini has offered for us in his review.
Wait until the sale and buy your favourites. It's simple, love this game, always have done, always will do.
So, Top Gear top tip. If you want to get your favourite trains in Train Simulator, wait for the sale and buy them there.
Now I see why Dovetail rarely posts in these forums. No matter what they say, they get shot down.
Not so much shot down, more so they can't hold up their points to scrutiny. Plus, people are still annoyed at the amazing customer service that they provide.
Have fun, guys. I'm afraid I'm going to have to move to alternate forms, where at least a little civility and reason survives.
Well, I think the thread was going fairly civil, to be honest, but... Alright then, there's about 6 buses an hour to UK Train Sim, or as I like to call it, the Hug Box. And best of all, they all look like this, just like in the good old days.
Agreed. There will be no way of pleasing some people. If you aren't happy, then stop buying products until change happens.
George Orwell would have loved you.
Every time I log onto this forum, I see the same users moaning about almost everything. Some posts can even be read as quite aggressive.
And why is that, do you think?
Come on, Spy, I don't know.
Well, a mystery we will take to our graves then. Goodbye.
Some users who clearly have nothing better to do should remember that Train Simulator is just a game. That's all it is.
Yes, Train Simulator is just a video game, and a £5 note will be hand-delivered to your address if you can prove to me how that fact alone makes this game immune to criticism. All these reviewers, all these people who have wasted money on these products and are thus complaining, they have nothing else better to do than complain. So how will this Mr. 395008 react? He will complain on a forum, on the same forum that people are complaining about. Well, I don't know what you're trying to achieve, mate, really. I really don't know what you're trying to achieve. After the 395 guy publicly announced that he had to unsubscribe from the discussion thread, I received a new comment from the Leadcatcher guy, who didn't seem too pleased about returning to his hug box because he's already there.
Been there for several years, and I have and still run several businesses.
I don't care if you've owned Land of Leather, Safeway, Summerfield and Lidl. Your social authority means bugger all when we're talking about Train Simulator. In fact, it feels like you've only said that as a way of trying to make yourself feel big. Which, it's failed because I'm not intimidated. Nice try though. Oh, by the way, my mum used to work in Selfridges.
Good luck with your studies. Hopefully they will lead to a good job someday.
Thanks, mate.
As for the door hitting me in the butt on the way out, sort of sums up the maturity of this thread. Have fun.
Well, of course if you cherry pick you'll only see stupidity. Duh. If you look hard enough you'll definitely find people who are more than willing to engage in discussion. But yeah, anyway, see you later.
Do you take suggestions on videos?
Nah, not really, but carry on.
If so, how about naming and shaming those who work for Dovetail, so we can find out who these scam artists actually are? Surely these people must have Steam accounts to abuse.
Okay. No, wait. What the
And exactly what would be achieved by witch hunting the devs? Seriously, I have enough trust in my viewers to not go around witch hunting people I may talk about in my new show, or especially in videos like this, but I would never even consider endorsing or advocating the concept of witch hunting specific members in the community, or the developers themselves, and try and abuse them through Steam and stuff like that. That is too far, and if you are that kind of person who would do that, or you think I would do something like that, then have some bloody dignity. Jeez. Dislike their work all you want, dislike the developers if you want, you can even dislike the person if you want, but don't go around stalking them, don't go making threats to them, and don't even consider revealing private information about them. Expect the police to be calling if you attempt to do something like that. And one last thing, never attribute to malice that is adequately explained with ignorance or stupidity.
Dude, quit complaining about the sounds. You can always switch them out by either making them yourself or going to a third-party website like Railworks America to download a sound pack and swap them out.
Where's the BR218 sound pack? Where's the BR152 sound pack? Where's the Class 35 sound pack? Where's the Class 390 sound pack? Where's the BR648 sound pack? Where's the BR361 sound pack? Where's the Class 59 sound pack? Where's the BR266 sound pack? Where is the BR189 sound pack? And where is the ER20 sound pack? Oh yeah, they don't exist! And it's not helped by the fact that there aren't any tutorials for making your own sound packs on Train Simulator. And regards to your swapping out the sounds thing, especially regards to diesels, they don't all have the same RPM values. Some trains rev higher, some trains rev lower, so there may be a chance that the sounds may not work at all, and you end up hearing nothing. Oops. For context, this comment was posted in reply to that vicious cycle of Train Simulator thing I made a while back. You know, this one.
What a load of old bollocks. So anyone who defends a route or train against unwarranted criticism is a fanboy?
No, but how is saying that there is poor quality control and even fluctuating quality control at the time unwarranted?
F off. And if Dovetail remove, ignore and silence negative criticism, then how come it's all still there?
You don't need to delete something in order to ignore it. Oh, and do you remember when they wiped all their Steam forums? You know, just thought I'd mention that.
And I see you're having a swipe at other developers too. How dare they create interesting and complex add-ons?
Way! We get our first instance of Mr. Strawman! If you don't know what the straw man fallacy is, it's basically when you misrepresent the opponent's argument and basically argue against the misrepresented version of the argument, making you think you're doing something like this. When actually you're doing something more like this. In regards to the third-party companies in my picture, I didn't have a go at them for the fact that they made add-ons. I was mainly talking about the third-party modifications and how those contribute to the almost infinite cycle that is Train Simulator. And I also didn't have a go of the quality either. The cycle doesn't care about if they are good, or if they are bad, or if they are simple, or if they are complex. Because as long as it'll sell, the cycle will continue to flow. Granted, over this year, the Armstrong Powerhouse haven't contributed too much to the vicious cycle, considering they've been working on other projects, you know, the Wary Lines, the 205, just as examples, but still my point stands.
This was obviously created by an imbecile, who if they hate the game, Dovetail and the other developers so much, they should sod off and play something else.
There is one compelling reason why I haven't done so. Take it away, Anil.
Well, if you dislike it so much, why do you keep coming?
It's the only other set we've got.
Good point.
Why someone is angry?
I don't know why someone is angry.
Those are usually haters that believe all of Blue Rail Studios' reskins are stolen. I disagree. They only stole one.
Well, in fairness, it was only one bolt that let us down.
It was only one iceberg that sank the Titanic. Sank.
And that was by accident.
Yes, they stole the reskin by accident and recorded footage of it by accident, which they used to put in a quote-unquote trailer for said reskin by accident. And when they were exposed for the reskin being stolen, they closed the site, ran away, and basically did the equivalent of this. So, in a way, yes, they did steal the reskin by accident, in the same way that somebody forged a passport by accident, or cheated on somebody by accident. There's a difference between a mistake and choice.
I'm trying to tell everyone you only stole one reskin, which was by accident, and they still don't believe me.
And why is that, do you think?
Everyone is saying every reskin on your website is stolen. Just ignore them. They are lifeless wankers.
Luke, do you remember the first thing that Blue Rail Studios did when they were first exposed for stealing the Class 91 VTech reskin from Mr. Brad Harding? They firstly closed down their website and Facebook page, denying all the claims that were made. Then they reopened them both along with a Facebook group and have set up their sites to only allow people access via an IP whitelist. And then only about a week or so after that did they actually come up with an open apology saying what we did was wrong and we will try not to do it again, even though they somewhat did it anyway. If somebody goes through that much work to hide all the evidence and run away from the truth after, and this is the key word here, after they've been exposed, then this is where we stop calling Blue Rail stupid or ignorant or annoying and start using words like dishonest and untrustworthy. And that's possibly the reason why people were wondering if any of their other reskins were stolen. I wouldn't blame them. Now, do I think it's right for people to make assertions like that without any evidence? No, but when evidence is provided that can't really be questioned, then, well, yeah, evidence doesn't lie. Again, it's pretty much damage control, which is one of the few things Blue Rail seems to do a lot whenever something like this happens. Even with the first debacle that I had with them a year ago, when they DMCA'd my video and tried to put the blame on me, goes to show that they are nothing more than dishonest. And in the unlikely event that Blue Rail do end up watching this video, probably wondering how they can get my trust back or any other people's trust back in the community, because I guarantee people don't trust them. If you want to get our trust back, simple. Leave the community and don't come back until you can prove to us that you can be trustworthy, because currently you're about as trustworthy as a loan shark.
No problem. I used to hate you guys, but now because people are giving you so much problems, I hate the haters now. They're just spreading lies around.
Oh man, these damn heaters, man. Gotta stop the heaters, man. Can you, like, stop heating on the heaters? What is this, 2012? I mean, come on, you can do better than that.
Oh boy, this is gonna be a long one. Let's begin. Who can disagree? This is a sim and nothing more or less. This is not a perfect replication of the railways across the world.
Well, you definitely got that bit right, though I've never asked or even expected this game to be a perfect representation, even from day one.
Now I am as much annoyed by many things that Dovetail have done and haven't been afraid of vocalizing them, even in my short time here, yet it appears there are some who believe they are experts because they suddenly have a soapbox upon which they continue to shout demands and are too full of their own self-importance that they are blinded to the facts.
Next!
Suppose a group of scientists publish a peer-reviewed paper discussing their findings of a habitable Earth-sized planet about 2.5 light years away from us, which in space terms is really close. However, these three scientists share very questionable views, to say the least. They each have a relative who's a member of the Westboro Baptist Church, and even fully support their actions and endeavours. They have nothing against slavery and child labour, and one of them wants all transgender people wiped off the planet. What happens to their research and findings and evidence? Oh right, nothing. These people may be bad or at worst damaging to society, but at the end of the day you can't use someone's personal traits as a reason to discredit someone's findings. That's the ad hominem fallacy. Case in point, you can say that I'm standing on a soapbox, but when it comes to talking about the points in my video, that comment adds bugger all to the discussion. Oh, and I don't think that I'm an expert because I have a soapbox. I'm way above that, mate. It's because of this and the fact that I've been playing the game since 2011, 2008 if you count Rail Simulator, and early 2007 if you count MSTS. I have more than enough experience with train simulators in order to critically assess and work out if one is good or if one is bad, and especially enough time to critique the content.
Students are okay to voice their opinions.
Since when were they not allowed to voice their own opinions? Look, if I happen to be an incredibly gifted 12-year-old bound to a wheelchair, would you attack me because of those reasons? No, you wouldn't, because that would be a blatant ad hominem attack, and people would call you out as being discriminatory. But because I was a student, that's okay now, isn't it?
But a larger picture should be understood here. Paper talk is paper talk, and real life will kick in sooner or later for these guys.
Alzheimer's will probably kick in sooner or later for the elderly. What's your point?
Yeah, patronising, I know, fellas. But who didn't think we could save the world when we were that age?
Well, yeah, of course. Time changes. If you came up to me when I was learning literacy in primary school and told me that one day when you're a young adult you will find this incredibly arousing, I probably wouldn't believe you. Yes, time changes, but really, what's your point? What are you trying to get at? I know many other people have used this clip already, but it's the best response to something like this.
Get on with it. Yes, get on with it!
I'm going to skip the next paragraph since it doesn't really apply to me, though this small bit here does deserve another use of...
Aww. What the... Next!
It's a fine line what we all feel and think, but I'm not sure some self-styled Maverick should be calling all the shots and making demands way above his personal comprehension of the realities.
Firstly, I refer to you to the example I presented earlier. And secondly, if you're going as far as using my username as a petty insult or ad hominem attack, you really must be scraping the bottom of the barrel. It should really go without saying, but my username does not reflect who I am in real life. It's just a username, nothing more, nothing less. I took inspiration for my username from the Maverick hunters in the Mega Man X and Zero series, who go around destroying Mavericks, who are essentially robots considered a threat to society. I'm not going to be angry at you or anyone else who didn't make that connection, but if we are going to be taking usernames literally, you are not a human, you are an axe. And considering what you partially alluded to here and in a future comment, that shows that you think my video was just 21 minutes of moaning and groaning for the sake of it, you appear to be a very blunt axe indeed.
Well done, kid.
I'm 19 next month.
You lit a fire, and you aggressively stoked it.
What do you mean? I barely commented on the discussion thread due to sunstroke, and the video doesn't even have 1,300 views. There was no fire, there was no flame war. At worst, there might have been a humble, controllable campfire, but definitely not a flame war.
Now go out into the real world and learn how to extinguish one.
Does knowing how to use this count? Also, is it just me, or does that feel like a very implicit version of the you do better argument?
Have a go at Dovetail by all means, but just remember they aren't your... to order about like you own them.
Well, yeah, same applies to any other video game company, or company in general.
Thank God for third-party websites, as they have filled the gaps Dovetail are happy to admit aren't up to their personal standards for real, genuine reasons.
What, as opposed to fake, ungenuine reasons? Also, incompetence seems more like an excuse than a reason, especially when Dovetail have been using it for, as near as makes no difference, a decade!
Perhaps we should all remember that if it weren't for alliances, we wouldn't have the products that we are all enjoying collaboratively today.
Implying everybody is enjoying them, and that excuses the poor quality assurance and quality control. Oh wait, it doesn't.
Lewis Hamilton drives a Mercedes F1 W07 Hybrid, thankfully not using brakes sold by Halfords.
No, but if he did have brakes from Halfords, and then he criticised the brakes for their poor ability to stop, with Halfords replying, well, why don't you do better? We spent 1,000,001 years developing this. He'd probably reply by saying, okay then, stuff this, I'm going back to McLaren. Or at the very least, find a different brake manufacturer.
All those aiming for perfection in things prepare to be constantly disappointed, and when you realise this, please don't bother with the rest of us, as we already know.
Mate, for the last time, I don't ask for perfection. Do you want me to spell it out for you? Hang on, I have Vegas, I will spell it out for you. Here! Let's move on to something else before I get sunstroke again. For context, this one was taken from Dovetail's Facebook page during the Steam Summer Sales, I think.
Sorry for being off topic, but will you guys ever do an American route or trains? This thread is being locked and in the morning will be consigned to the bin.
The humble UK trains moderator in its home environment.
This review is typical of the flaming that goes on the Steam forums about the supposed immense cost of the entire DLC collection.
If more than 3,500 quid is your idea of supposed immense cost, then please move back to sorry. I think Waitrose is starting to miss you. Also, the paint is starting to chip from your electric fence, so you might want to call up the local pole to fix it up, innit? Close enough.
Nobody forces anyone to buy DLC.
Nobody forces you to buy No Man's Sky. It doesn't mean we can't complain about the game or its price.
And the sensible members out there make best use of the Steam sales to pick up the DLC they want/need at a discounted price. Conversely, if you absolutely have to have each of the DLC the second it is released, then you will pay full price for it. If you have the money, then that is your prerogative. You earn the money, so spend it on what makes you happy.
Yeah, I agree with you on that last bit, but I still think every customer should be entitled to a level of quality control regardless of the products they invest in. If that is too much to ask, tell us why.
Benny boy, you being a student doesn't entitle you to a discount on a game. Sorry to break that to you.
True, but why do you think there are so many schemes that allow students to get discounts on various commodities, food, drinks and entertainment? It couldn't possibly have anything to do with the fair and balanced tuition fees now, could it?
You kids these days are so lost without any sense of logic when it comes to how economic works.
Well, at least I know how to spell. It's economics, or how the economy works. Just saying.
And have no idea what it means to run a company and how much you need in order to keep it afloat.
And if you're in the majority of people who haven't started up a business before, you don't know. So shut up and know your place before you criticize the rich.
You'll spend loads of money on the silliest things and complain that other things cost too much.
Ah yes, the elderly can never waste their money. Betting! Sorry, yeah, the elderly can never waste their money, it's only these damn kids on these newfangled iPhones. Oh, back in my day, if you wanted to research something, you had to go to the damn library, innit? Actually, American people don't say innit, sorry.
Try working figuring out how to get content like this out, and then come back to us and see how asinine your comment is.
Aww.
What the fuck?
Next!
Or get Blender, GIMP, and read the documentation, which you paid for as part of the base product.
Oh yeah? I remember back in the day when I was trying out GIMP on my old laptop, having to pay 60 quid to read that manual. Coincidentally, it was also the same day I bought WinRAR.
Then start teaching yourself how to do it, so you actually have relevant experience as to what's involved in creating these things.
Tell you what, 2 people can play at this game. Let's see any of you people remake this.
The winds are gonna pick up a little bit.
What's that? You can't remake it? Well, guess what? You're not allowed to critique any of my music. Or any music in general. All aboard the Contradiction Express. By the way, just to rub it in, that took me about 20 minutes to make. I even timed it, see?
Hi, just so you know, there's a mistake on the GML Class 90 product page.
Well, okay, I'm grateful that people are actually notifying developers about issues or mistakes in their products, or even product descriptions. So, Mr. Albie, what appears to be the issue?
You say there is a Class 82 included, but there's not.
Yes, because when I read Class 82 Mark III DVT, and even Google Class 82 Mark III DVT, the first thing that comes to my mind is 1960s West Coast tat, obviously. Duh. Also, thank you, Albie, for demonstrating your impeccable reading skills of not being able to read a single sentence. And even in the comments, it was almost as if Albie was adamant for the Armstrong Powerhouse to change their description. Because, well, I guess he was getting really confused between this and this. I can't blame him, to be honest. Jeez, I didn't think this community could get any lower than, well, this, really. Okay, I've spent the past 26 minutes replying to various comments, and I've saved a fair amount for last. Now, I won't reply to all of these last few in full detail, because some of them involve the same arguments we've seen over and over again, and I don't want to extend the video's length for longer than it really needs to be. In terms of commenters, he's in a class of 1, at least Train Simulator wise. What else can I say apart from, take it away, Rossi boy!
Love this, and the sounds are amazing. Well done, DTG. Glad you use an actual Class 68. Saves the usual bunch crying about the sounds.
There are those saying the sounds aren't right. I personally think the sounds are great.
Yeah, Robert, and you can guarantee the people saying the sounds are wrong are fanboys if another certain developer who will all be upset they can't promote a sound pack.
Give them about 6 months a year, they'll probably get to it.
Will there be scenario packs for British roots?
Hope they do carry this on. Love care scenarios makes it all the more challenge as you constantly try to get the 1000 XP lol.
For someone who's played Pokemon for a decade, I have this inner urge to disagree with you.
Then don't sit there and criticise other developer work with comments like "don't look good, they have done a far better job than..." And I who can't reskin, so you have no right to criticise anyone else's work in something you can't do. Okay, so care to explain since when UKTS has done payware content, UKTS is a freeware community, or are you just doing your usual when you turn a comment into something you want to believe? At the end of the day, how would you feel can't be bothered to read this comment anymore. So we can expect another pointless train sim news then, no doubt. Oh dear to that.
Well, I did it! I made someone angry on the internet using my news show!
I like how they compare percentages. Didn't see them complain when another well-known dev offers only 30% off, yet when he does, all devs fanboys start praising the dev and saying how wonderful they are, yet the minute DTG do a 30% off, all of a sudden free at percent is not enough for them, yet the other dev, who shall remain nameless as I am not giving them free publicity, does a 30% sale, 30% is amazing, and they start screaming, take my money. Funny that.
Looks like the refurbished Mark II with the big windows again, no toilets, haha. Tons of photographic reference online, but we still get errors.
Read the top left, work in progress.
You know, if they were going to actually fix the size of the windows, they wouldn't have started to texture it and add decals if necessary. I mean, it's like if you were going to build a house, then you had the plumbing, the wiring, the heating, and then say, oh crap mates, I forgot the foundation. It's kind of an important step, you know. Oh, spoiler alert, when the product's released, the windows were still wrong. So much for work in progress.
Yippee, real sounds, thank you. DTG saves people having to pay for a sound pack. I'm sorry, but if they record from a real loco, then it is as accurate as it gets to driving this beauty of a train. Thumbs up from me.
Mate, you can record an Airbus A380 taking off in 4K, but if you edit that film in Windows Movie Maker, it's going to look crap. The inverse also applies. It doesn't matter if you can afford to hire a editing studio if the only form of recording you have happens to be your mate's old Nokia N95. Oh, by the way, who else remembers that phone? I really wanted to get one when I was younger. Anyway, back to the thing.
And you would still complain it's too much if it was free. You have the tools yourself in-game and download a 3D model program. If you can do it, build it yourself for free, or even better, charge £5 to see if you're happy to get people to pay you that price after all the hours of work you put into building it. Quick question for you. Since as you're quite a slate me, why not show me something that have built from start to finish yourself? Until then, don't slate me off.
I'm a solo musician, and I have been since 2010. How old did you plan on getting today? I'm not too sure if this one is Ross himself, but it is related to that thing he did when RG Simulations was a thing.
Class 313 in development, coming soon. The fantastic Class 313 EMU for Train Simulator, which will feature a fantastic cab and fantastic sounds.
Will it now?
Also included in the pack will be some scenarios ready for you to use for Class 313 straight away.
Well, given that it's been a mere 3 years since they last posted that, I'm willing to bet that this project's been put on the back burner, to say the least, or is being slow cooked. You know, you don't have to rush into these projects, though considering it has been a long time, there is some new competition over there, but don't let those guys put you off. You can do it, and I have faith in you to make the fantastic 313, and I can't wait to ride in its fantastic cab or listen to those fantastic sounds. Well, that's all I have for you lot today. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed watching it as much as I enjoyed making it. See you later, and enjoy playing Train Sim 2016 and having to pay to beta test. Goodbye.
Ducks!
Class 313 in development, coming soon. The fantastic Class 313 unit for Class... Dang it, I was recording. What do you mean? I barely commented on the thread due to sunstroke, and the video barely... Try again.